Hi there folks, I have been inspired to make some jean jackets, not just one or two, I am gonna attempt 3. And my ideas came as I was strolling through the Pinterest board and realized that so many people can do so many different things with jean jackets. Mostly these are upcycles, but I plan on making mine from scratch. Much like the one that I'm wearing today, I made this using the Simplicity Mimi G 8845 jean jacket pattern. If you're in need of a pattern, this one is awesome and it's easy to use. I've color blocked this with the pink and the tan, and I thought an idea like this would be perfect to use with my scraps. This is a pile of scrap wool I bought at the beginning of 2023 from a mystery box. Also included are just other scraps that I had from projects I worked on. Nothing is bigger than 2 yards, and some of these are as small as half a yard. So I am going to take this pile, and over here I have some jeans that either don't fit me anymore or never fit me, like these Good American jeans that I ordered and they sent me a size 6 instead of a size 20. I am going to cut these up instead of returning them and make something much more exciting. But first, what I have to do is I have to investigate this pile and see what matches and what I can pair with this pile over here. So hopefully I'm going to have a great marriage between the two of these and this pattern. Let's move down to the big table to see if I can do it. Now I have more room to spread out. What I'm going to do first is not worry about texture. There's a lot of different textures here. And instead, I am going to build piles based on how well the colors go together. This first piece is so unique. It reminds me of a poncho. It's got a very Southwest theme. I don't know what I can do with it, so it's going to go over there for now. I've got some possible lining material, although you don't mind jean jackets. Definitely a different color, sort of pink. I'm gonna move this over here. It sort of goes together, not quite sure. But then I have a whole slew of purples and blues and maroons. I really hope the colors are coming up. I have some more pink. I've got a lot of this. Let's put that over there, but look at these. This is silk, it's got blue, it's pretty lightweight. But then what about that? Chunky, cheap type material, that could be a lot of fun. And it matches really well with this color. That's really super green, but it is very hard to tell in the different light. And this one, it's like blue and black striped, and I have quite a bit of it as well. I don't actually think it goes too well with this that we're building right here. The next piece is purple and blue and really matches well with this and also with the maroon, a heavier wool. And then finally, this one would actually go really well with black. I have some black wool. And speaking of black wool, if you're looking for a tutorial of the Mimi G pattern, the one I'm going to use today, I'll link it above because I did a 55-minute tutorial of exactly how you make this jean jacket. You're interested, you can definitely go ahead and look at that video. So let's put this to the side. I already have an idea for this one. Many of the jean jacket inspirations I saw on Pinterest had panels that were similar to this. So I thought what I could do with this one is definitely use this fabric as a part of the back panel and then take the Good American jeans and cut them apart to be some of the smaller pieces, and I can actually maybe even use the pocket somewhere or maybe even the front pockets. We'll see how that goes. But this looks like it could be a really simple project, and I think I want to start with that. All right, y'all, there are 18 pieces in this pattern. I forgot there were so many. That's a lot of sewing, but the pieces are small, so it shouldn't take that long. And what I need to do now is figure out what I'm going to cut out of the Southwestern fabric and what I'm going to cut out of the jeans material. I think the easiest way to do this is to look at that jacket I already made and see how the pieces fit together. So I have it right here. Here's my earlier version. It looks like I used the pink primarily and the tan as accents, chevron accents under the arms and on the back. This time around, I don't have a lot of jeans material. So what I'm going to try to do, make the yoke out of the jeans and the cuffs and the waistband, and if I have enough material, under the arm as well. For the collar, I'm actually going to replace that with a hood out of the Southwest material. I'll use another pattern for the hoodie. I already found one, the McCall's 7637. I'll have to do some measurements to make sure it actually fits. Now I'm going to pull out the pattern pieces and arrange them on the fabric. The sun is shining on a new day and I am ready to operate. I need 2 undersleeves, double layered, check. 2 front yokes, check. 2 cuffs, check. 1 back yoke, check. This waistband, I think I have enough material. Really nervous, I don't want to start cutting. These aren't pockets. This is all I have left. I misjudged how much fabric I needed for the undersleeves, so I wasn't able to do that. I feel like I can squeeze out a pocket still. Yes, 2 pockets. I like to try to save this part for something else. It's getting a little crowded on this table, but here it is. A jean jacket, all in its parts. The next step is to sew it together, and that's going to be easy on the back and the sleeve. I think I'll go ahead and do that right now. And once I'm done with sewing these together, I'm going to have to come back to this front piece to see if I've made up my mind. Down here is the waistband. It looks a bit rough because I left myself some seam allowance, but my intention is to sew that on the bottom of the jacket once I figure out what to do right here. I've settled on a few things, like I am going to use the back jean pockets for my welt pockets instead. I'm going to sew those right in here where the welt pockets should go. I think that'll be really neat, but I can't decide on should I do the jean in the middle or should I do the Southwestern material, and same with the pocket flap above. What do you guys think? Okay, just kidding, it'll be too late. I'm leaning towards this because I feel like this is a little too busy. Although I could also do something like that. I sort of like that because then it ties the jean material from the top yoke all the way down through the pocket to the waistband. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and stitch these together off camera, and we'll come back when I am ready to do the front. See you in like a half a second. I'm really glad I kept a seam allowance on these pockets, the back pockets, because what I have to do is, see, here's the seam allowance. I cut the rest of it off because I won't need that, but what I need to do is stitch along here on the reverse side so that my pocket will have a hemmed edge. So we're getting there. Time to sew the back jean pockets on the front. I hope this works. I interfaced the part where I'm going to sew just to make it a little sturdier, and also because this fabric is very stretchy. Then I'll take the side front panel right where that welt pocket is going to be. I'll take my back pocket and sew it down like this. When you're doing this, stay on your seam allowance so that you don't accidentally sew your pocket closed. There's your seam. All I have to do now is fold it over. So this will have a nice seam right there. And then sew all along here and sew it down to the front. I think this is gonna work. What I wanna do is get as close as possible to the far stitching line of the pants. And I have a pocket. I changed something else. I lengthened my pocket, cut 2 for each side. Then I will make an interior pocket, and then I won't have any top stitching. It's time to put the top pocket on. I have some ideas, not quite sure. Here's the 3 pieces that are going to make up the top pocket and the yoke. I haven't exactly figured out how I'm going to put this in yet, but the general idea will be to do the facing the same way. You stitch the facing around, you flip it in back, the pouch goes in the back, your top goes on, and you sandwich everything between your yoke and the top piece. So yoke, pocket flap, facing, pocket. Let's see if I can do that. All right, it's starting to look like a jean jacket. I have a few things left to do. Number one issue though is what to do with the sleeves. They are way too long for me, especially with the cuffs on. I had this idea of gathering, but that's not gonna work out. So I'm gonna go ponder that, and I also have to put the hood on and sew it up, and then I'm done. I figured out how I'm gonna do the hood. First, I sewed the lining together with the top, and this is open. This measures 22 inches, and I got that. I measured 22 inches around my collar. This on the jacket and sew all the way around. Hopefully that makes sense. We'll see how it looks. The last thing I have to do is sew that bottom band on. This is the waistband from the jeans, and I have a big gap between the two sides. I'm gonna go ahead and fill it in with this, so I will have plenty of waistband to work with. All I'm gonna do is fold it over, stitch right there, all the way across, and then I should have a nice result at the end. I have the hood attached, just like any other collar. All I have to do now is take this side, flip it over, and hand stitch it on, or I could also just top stitch it on to make my life easier. And then I have a hood. It's not a collar, it's a hood. I'm done. For a simple project, this one really took a long time, but I am really happy with the results. I thought I'd talk about what I liked about the pattern modifications and then some things I didn't as well. So let's get started in no particular order. Something that surprised me, the sleeves. You know how when you have a jean jacket, the sleeves are really heavy and can weight you down? Well, this fabric is actually pretty light, and I don't feel like I'm wearing a big bulky jacket. And I love that about this. The next thing I really liked was a bit of a surprise too, and that's the hood. If you remember, I took a hood pattern from a bomber jacket and I didn't really know how to attach it. And I certainly didn't know how these edges would look. I didn't want to cut them off, so I just decided to go for it. And guess what? They look like collars. I think this is so cute. I love it. Also, I have a hood and it worked and I can wrap it around. Let's pause the positive and talk about the negative for 1 second. You can see that this has no buttons on it yet, no snaps. I tried to put the big, heavy, regular jean jacket buttons on, and that was just too heavy for this material. It's actually a little fragile and very loosely woven. So I haven't put any buttons in yet. I really have to think about that. But I think once I do, it will improve the hood design and actually make it really warm around my neck if I can just button it up here and under there. So let's go back to the positives. Here's another design choice I made. I did not put buttons or buttonholes in my top pockets because I like the clean look, and honestly, I never button those. But at least they work. Yes, I have pockets that work. Isn't that awesome? And also there's no top stitching. I didn't need to top stitch. This is ugly in here. I didn't need to top stitch around the top pockets because I have a double layer of pocket, and that makes this look so much smoother, and I really like that instead of the top stitching. Because number one, I really suck at top stitching, and number two, I just really like the lines better. Speaking of pockets, I really like the way the backsheen pocket turned into the welt pocket. These are actually super comfortable. And sewing a welt pocket can be really tricky. You have to cut into your material, and if you make a mistake, it really sucks. It just was so much easier just to put this back pocket on. And even if I don't have a pair of pants to seal that back pocket from, I think I might use this pattern in the future. One thing I think I can improve upon with this is the pocket placement. I feel like they're a little too far back. I think I should have started them a little closer to the front because that would have been more comfortable. I can still use them, but they feel just a little awkward. Another part of those pants, those jeans that I took that I think really worked out well is the waistband for the waistband. I actually kept the belt loops, and I think that makes a really fun addition. I also like the deconstructionist nature of the jean pants at the bottom. I think that's really a fun design. Got them back here too. I mentioned a couple of things that I don't like, but let me add to the list. The cuffs. The cuffs in this pattern were way too long for me, and I couldn't do my original idea. So instead what I did is I just folded them up double this way, and they fit now. But this isn't what I had intended, although it does work. But worst of all is the inside of this jacket. I spent so much time trying to figure out how to put it together that I didn't spend enough time trying to figure out how to make the inside nice. Look at this. I've got incredibly scrappy top pockets here. I really need to figure out how to sew these in better because I like that idea, but this is a mess. The bottom here, when I put in the jean waistband, I didn't know how to finish this edge. I did stitch it down, but boy, this looks really messy too. And I'm sure if my jacket flies open, it looks awful. So I definitely need to improve upon that and really think about the inside as well as the outside. All in all, I loved how this came together. And I'm gonna do a bit of a reveal outside when the weather gets better. Also, I really need to finish that second project that I promised at the beginning of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then come back to the reveal of this one and the other one at the end. So stay tuned for that. I feel like I've already been on a marathon and here we are at part 2. This video is getting really long, so part 2 might have to be an actual part 2 video. So let's see how it goes. If you remember my wool and silk fabric scraps, here they are on the table again. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to randomly pick and choose what pattern piece should go on what fabric piece so that I don't have to spend too much time thinking because my brain is dead. With the exception of this material right here because I already know this is going to go on the back and I want to do a pleated type of back because I think that would look really cool. Without further ado, let's see if I can free my mind and actually just put the pattern pieces down randomly. All right, back yoke, cuff. I'm not sure I'm gonna put a cuff in, but let's put it there. Collar, there, undersleeve, side back, upper sleeve. All right, I already decided what I want to try with the upper sleeve too, and that's why this fabric is here. That other jacket was so light in the sleeve that I thought I'd try something even lighter. And I can also make it a little more billowy. So that's why this is sitting right here, and that's going to be the upper sleeve. I still think the undersleeve will be more solid. I don't know if that's the best design choice, but heck, I'm here to play, right? Stop thinking. All right, facing. This doesn't really matter. Back. Oh, this is the back. Pocket top flap. Why not? Tabs. This is the waistband. Goodness. These are double layered. I think that's gonna have to be the green. This fabric is actually quadruple layered. So you know what? I bet we can get a waistband out of there. So waistband and cuffs, kind of similar. Middle front, let's see, pocket. This again doesn't matter. Front. Oh, made a mistake. This side back is also gonna be this material, so the front can be that. The yoke front, why don't I try to do both of these? So one in each color. I'll put that over there like that. What we've got. This side front has to be a little bit hefty because it's going to be holding up this. So I feel like that needs to be this wool as well. And these little things I'll put to the side. I'm going to allow myself to change my mind twice. So let me think about this for just a few seconds. Okay. All right. So my first choice, I have a lot of this material here, and maybe I will take that middle front piece and just do it over there. That sounds kind of fun. I'd also like to throw in a wild card with my sleeves because I'm not really sure this is going to work, and if this doesn't work, I probably will do sleeves out of this as well. Does that count as 1 or 2 if it doesn't work out? Because you know what? I would really like to try more of this sheepy wool, and maybe the collar can go out of that as well. That's going to be a really thick collar. I'm not sure it's going to work. Okay, I'm really going to try not to change my mind. Let's go. This is going to be a fast sew. I'm not going to show you a lot because this video is getting giant long, and I really didn't want to do a part 2. All right, here we go. I made a choir robe. Or a graduation robe. My high school colors were maroon, so this sort of reminds me of my graduation robe. I got carried away. This is what happens. I had all this fabric, but not a lot of it because I'm using scraps, and I have the jean jacket pattern. Yes, this still is the jean jacket pattern, and I just decided to make it full length so that I could use up all that fabric and I wouldn't have scraps laying around. Well, I still have some. And this is how it turned out. How do I feel about it? I'm okay with it because I like experimentation. Without experimentation, you don't know how things will go together. And hopefully you guys can learn along with me on what works and what doesn't. I do like some things about this. For instance, the middle, the maroon fabric right here is much lighter than the wool. And I think that makes this jacket feel a bit lighter overall, more like a late fall, early spring kind of jacket. And it also makes it more flexible. Sometimes wool coats can be really a little stiff, and with these two lines here, it has a lot more give and take, and I really like that. No, I didn't line it, since that wasn't on my list of things to try. Although that might be an option if I decide to use a jean jacket pattern for a coat again. I like the sheepy fabric on the yoke. I also used it on the back yoke. And this, I have just revealed what looks about as silly as you can get. I thought the back would look really cool with that pleated middle, and in my mind, I had something completely different. It just doesn't look right. And I think that's because I could have put some more effort into the design, or maybe the fabric choice was just plumb wrong. This sheer fabric in the back is probably just too light to pull off this vision that I had. I like the sleeves. I only used the sleeve portion of the jacket. I didn't use the cuff, and then I just gathered it at the end. I think I was trying to do that last time. I super like the way this turned out though. And if I wore it, I think what I would do is overlap it like this instead of the jean jacket would overlap in the middle. I think I would prefer to overlap it like this, so it's solid in front, more like a coat, and then I could put buttons down here, or I could even put in a zipper or something like that, like so nobody would see it. It is what it is, and at least I tried it, and at least it's kind of fun, right? I'm gonna take a walk around and see if I actually like it more, or see if I get more inspired.